So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to make some easy, nutritious protein oats. And I'm going to talk through two variations. One that requires just a bowl. It's simple overnight oats. Doesn't require any special equipment. And also this variation where you actually make them in a rice cooker. So for starters, I've got my oat options here. If I'm doing this as the overnight oat option, where I'm not going to be cooking it, I'm going to go with the quick oats just because that's going to give me a little bit softer texture to the oats versus the whole rolled oats that are a bit thicker cut. In this case, since I am going to be cooking it, this will be my breakfast for tomorrow, I am going to use the rolled oats option. So the recipe here is super forgiving. You can really adjust the proportions of the different ingredients to hit your macronutrient goals for this particular meal. But in this case, I'm trying to get about 40 grams of protein, 10 or so grams of fat, and 85 to 100 grams of carbs. And I'll show the macros for this particular meal at the end of the video. So starting off with my oats, I'm going to weigh out about 85 grams of whole rolled oats. And you probably won't be able to see that number here on the scale, but let's see if I can read this upside down. All right, there we go, 85. All right, so next up, I'm gonna add some chia seeds. What the chia seeds do, they add fiber, healthy fats, but they also act as kind of a binder and give the oats a nice creamy texture. In my case, I'm gonna zero out my scale here, and I'm gonna add about 7 grams of chia seeds right there. Good stuff. All right, and these do taste better with a little bit of salt. There's no other sodium sources in this meal, so I'm gonna add about a gram of salt as well. And there we go. All right, next up we have our protein source. In this case, I'm using this dark chocolate protein powder from Raw Nutrition. You can use whatever flavor you want. Find a brand that you like the flavor of, that's a good quality, and stick with it. This one works really well for me. I'm gonna put about 35 grams in my oats here. So again, zeroing out my scale, and that brings us to 26. And 35 right there. All right, so if I was just doing overnight oats, I could stop right here and just add my liquid, which could be water, it could be almond milk, okay? This is kind of the base recipe with these 4 ingredients, the chia seeds, the protein, the oats, and the salt. Beyond that, the sky's the limit. You can add additional ingredients and flavors and really experiment with it as much as you want. So if I was gonna do overnight oats, I would just add about half a cup of almond milk or water to this, stir it up, set it in the fridge. Overnight, those oats are gonna get tender and it's gonna be ready to eat. I can either eat it cold, which I like to do in the summertime when it's hot, or I can heat it up in the microwave. But we're gonna go a little bit fancier than this. So we're gonna keep going and add a few more ingredients here. All right, so I've gathered a couple more ingredients here that I'm gonna add to my rice cooker oats here. These could also be added to overnight oats, just the same. So I'm gonna do some pumpkin puree, first of all. I just like the taste, and you get some great vitamins and minerals out of it. Vitamin A, potassium, and iron are pretty prevalent in our pumpkin puree. So for this, I'm gonna add 100 grams. And this also adds volume to your oats so that you feel like you're eating more food, but the pumpkin puree doesn't contain a lot of calories. So it adds volume without contributing much in the way of additional calories here. So I'm gonna be coming up a little bit shy of 100 grams. That's 93 right there. But as I said, this recipe is very forgiving, so no worries there. Also, another option is This protein powder that I used is not particularly sweet. Depending on the brand that you go with, they vary. And so if you want it a little bit more sweet, you can add some additional sweetener. In this case, we've got this whole earth erythritol and monk fruit sugar alternative. So this is great for a sweet treat without adding additional calories. I'm gonna add some cinnamon as well here, just about a gram or so. And then I'm also gonna add some fruit in the form of this banana. Again, you can add whatever you like. Sometimes I'll throw blueberries in there, strawberries, whatever you enjoy. So I'm gonna aim for roughly 100 grams here. And let's see how close we can get. And we went a little bit over, but that is okay. 105 right there. All right, and that pretty much wraps it up. We're ready to add our liquid here. In this case, I'm using almond milk. You can also use water if you don't want the additional fats. But again, almond milk, not very calorie dense. Half a cup is adding like maybe 20 calories, I believe, to your meal. You also have the option to add even a supplement to your oats. So I'll very often add my creatine to my oats just to mix that in. That way I don't have to worry about taking it separately during my workout or something like that. But I'm going to leave that out for the moment and go ahead and add my almond milk. And we're going to go with 3/4 of a cup here, which adds up to 180 grams. And we just went a little bit over 184, and we are good to go. So now I just stir this up, take it over my rice cooker, and then I will set the timer so it'll be ready for me first thing in the morning. All right, so now I've got my oatmeal over to my rice cooker. This is a Zojirushi rice cooker. This is a gift. It is a Japanese brand of rice cooker. They make really, really good ones. So pretty straightforward as far as how to get this started. First, I'm going to go over to the menu setting over here, and I'm going to take this over to the porridge setting, and then I'm going to close the lid and set the timer. So I want this to be ready for me for breakfast tomorrow morning. So I'm going to simply adjust that timer to when I want it to be ready, which is going to be about 6:50, and then I'm going to press this cooking button. So it is not going to start cooking, but it is going to be ready for me at 6:50 tomorrow morning. So I hope this has been helpful in giving you some ideas for how you can get creative with your own recipes for protein oats, mix and match different ingredients, different cooking methods. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will list the macros for this particular recipe as well as the link to the rice cooker.